Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something really cool. We're stepping directly into the shoes of a master music producer to decode the hidden, technical choices that make iconic songs sound like absolute magic. You know, if you've ever wondered how a track can physically move you, or why certain melodies get stuck in your head for days on end, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're gonna look at the actual architecture of sound. Okay, let's take a quick look at today's session view. We've got 4 main tracks to cover. First, the arrangement and response. Second, rhythm, space, and tension. Third, the art of layering. And finally, designing spatial soundscapes. Let's just dive right in.
Section 1, the arrangement and response. You know, to really understand a track's production, we first have to look at its musical DNA and arrangement, especially when a track is in a direct dialogue with another song. The absolute foundation of a massive hit often starts with exactly what it's reacting to. Now, what's really fascinating here is how this visually proves that despite a thematic connection and, sharing that same A minor starting chord, these are fundamentally completely different musical structures. As a producer, you look at Bruno Mars's track at 73 beats per minute, and you instantly hear a stripped-back, highly vulnerable piano ballad with complex traditional chord changes. But then look at Miley Cyrus's Flowers. It operates at an upbeat 118 BPM and relies on a steady, propulsive 4-chord disco-funk groove. They're occupying entirely different sonic universes.
Now, while there has been some legal debate and a copyright lawsuit over alleged similarities, which, for the record, Cyrus's team completely denies as just being common musical building blocks. The true genius here, from a songwriting and production standpoint, is the lyrical inversion. It systematically flips the narrative. It takes this feeling of regret and completely transforms it into an absolute anthem of self-reliance.
And this quote from producer Kid Harpoon perfectly captures the exact vibe they had in the studio. He noted Miley's attitude wasn't this weak, oh poor me thing, but rather, no, I buy my own freaking flowers. I can hold my own hand. That exact studio attitude totally dictated the instrumentation. If the core message is strength, well, you don't use a weeping piano, right? You use a strutting, highly syncopated bass line.
Moving right along to Section 2, rhythm, space, and tension. As producers, we know that manipulating time, and honestly, specifically what you don't play, creates massive emotional impact. So, let me ask you a question. Most pop songs hit you with a super heavy kick drum right on beat 1 of the chorus to signal a massive energy shift. But what actually happens when a producer decides to leave that downbeat entirely empty? Well, you get what we call the slingshot effect, and it literally grabs your attention physically. By leaving beat 1 silent in Flowers, they create this momentary vacuum. It's like pulling back a bowstring. It acts as a dramatic pivot that perfectly mirrors the sudden realization of independence in the lyrics. So when that beat finally drops on beat 2, man, it feels incredibly explosive and propulsive. Now contrast that highly predictable, square 4/4 pop grid with something like Seal's Kiss from a Rose. Here, the choice of a 3/4 waltz rhythm combined with unpredictable 5-bar phrases, which we call hypermeasures, completely removes the heavy anchor of a standard pop song. Instead of being square, it creates this rolling, continuous loop. It literally keeps your ear waiting just a fraction of a moment longer, extending all that glorious tension. And this brilliant choice is exactly why Seal's track feels like such a mystery. By constantly weaving between major and minor without a standard resolution, and using those extended phrases, the layered vocal harmonies create this shepherd tone-like sensation. It's an auditory illusion where it feels like the pitch is endlessly rising or falling. It's like you're floating forever, with the ground constantly shifting under your feet without a clear beginning or end. Alright, Section 3, the art of layering. Because once the rhythm is locked in, a producer's next job behind the console is to paint a really lush sonic tapestry through the art of layering. Let's actually deconstruct the studio workflow for Flowers. It's like a giant puzzle. First, you establish a simple Wurlitzer piano foundation. Then you humanize it by blending in a live, slightly muted bass. Next, you use sidechain compression to strictly gate the drums, meaning they only punch through exactly when you want them to, making them sound super choppy and tight. And finally, you wash the whole shebang in these lush, 70s-style string scents. But here's the catch. Just stacking a bunch of sounds can easily create a massive, muddy mess. To prevent this, producers assign these elements into strict frequency buckets. As you can see, you ensure everything from the driving bass anchoring the lows to the Wurlitzer driving the mids, all the way up to those rhythmic shakers adding sparkle in the highs, has its own physical room to breathe in the mix.
And to keep you hooked, producers will use what's called a novelty layer. Instead of having just one instrument play the main melody all the way through, the melody is passed around between different instruments, kind of like a conversation, a call and response. This ensures your ear is constantly stimulated by different textures trading off, keeping the whole arrangement totally unpredictable and alive.
But layering isn't just about stacking generic sounds, right? It's about choosing instruments with undeniable character. Take Prince, for example. He relied heavily on the ARP Omnisynth in his iconic track 1999. This 1978 synthesizer provided a distinctly bright, organ-like string quality that pretty much defined the sound of that entire era.
Prince was a real game changer. He didn't just sing high, he meticulously engineered his tracks. Acting as a one-man band, he recorded instruments at faster speeds and pitched them down, weaponizing his falsetto and using extreme high-end EQ to push boundary limits. He used these frequencies to stimulate the listener with pure attitude. It's actually a lot like how Mozart used subtle, playful dissonant spikes to violate harmonic expectations. Prince used extreme engineered brightness to jolt the pop audience right into his utopian world.
Which brings us to Section 4, Designing Spatial Soundscapes. For our final section, we are looking way past traditional stereo mixing and getting into the futuristic physics of spatial audio.
I want you to imagine a concert where, instead of just the middle row getting that perfect sweet spot for sound, literally 100% of the audience experiences a perfectly stable, three-dimensional acoustic image. Sounds impossible, right?
Well, it's not science fiction. This is achieved through an incredible technology called wave field synthesis. It completely abandons the old paradigm of just panning audio left and right. Instead of tricking your brain with an acoustic illusion, WFS uses a linear array of small loudspeakers to generate artificial wavefronts, actually placing virtual sound sources in real physical space.
When producers use cutting-edge systems like the Flux SBAT Revolution or Mike Bullock's modular Model A array, the advantages are absolutely massive. The tech uses a minimum latency approach combining amplitude and precise timing delays to recreate those physical wavefronts. Because it distributes the acoustic energy so safely and evenly, it beautifully respects the natural timbre of the instruments without just pounding the listener's ears. In fact, the physical speakers literally seem to disappear behind this holographic sound field. As the quote says, it's no longer the console doing the mixing, it's the SPAT doing a virtual summation in a virtual space. The computer isn't just summing left and right channels anymore, it's calculating the actual physics of a virtual room. The producer is no longer just mixing volume, they are architecting a physical space to move the audience's emotions. So next time you put on your headphones, ask yourself, are you just listening to a song, or are you hearing the invisible matrix the producer built around you? From the empty space of a missing downbeat, to the precise frequency buckets of a layered synth, all the way to the holographic waves of a virtual orchestra. I really hope this explainer leaves you wondering what other architectural secrets are hiding in your favorite playlists. Next time you hit play, listen for the matrix. Thanks so much for joining me.